Hey friends, welcome back to Mimi's Mixed Bag. Just wanted to come on here real quick before I start my project and tell you thank you for all the sweet comments last week with me sharing my guinea pigs. We had a wonderful time in northern Wisconsin. That's where a lot of my husband's family is from, and we just always have a wonderful time. It's just so far up there, and we go every 5 years. I wanted to come on and just tell you that I'm still packing up, and I tell you, my house is an absolute disaster. Every room is torn apart. I'm having to decide what to keep, what to sell, what to give to my children, and I tell you, I'm not even an anxiety type person, and I'm just about over it. It's just, I told my husband last night, it's just almost overwhelming trying to figure out what we need to do. There's just so much to do. I am going to share a couple projects today, and one little project next week, and then I'll be forced to take a few weeks off. Yesterday actually was my 7-year YouTube anniversary. I can't believe I've been making videos for 7 years. When I left the classroom and my mother passed, I just had to have a creative outlet, and this certainly fit the bill. It's always just been a hobby. I do it just for fun, and I would be doing these things even if I didn't film it and share it with you. So, but it has been a labor of love, and always a lot of fun, and met so many people all over the world. I just wanted to let you know that after next week, I check my email often. I do post occasionally on Instagram, and I'll try to come back, you know, in a few weeks and do a empty house tour of where we're moving. You know, I've mentioned that it's my daughter's house, and so we're switching houses. So while she's moving out, we're moving in. So that kind of creates a little bit of a logistic problem, but I will try my best to at least get some sneak peek of the before we move in, so you can see where I'm going. But it's just 2 miles around the corner, really. Today I'm going to share with you a couple things I'm making for the new place, something for my craft room and something for my bathroom. So let's go in the kitchen. Let me show you what I've got. The first project I'm going to make today is for my craft room, and I'm going to make a framed magnet board for my metal dies. Now, if you're a paper crafter or a card maker, you know exactly what this is. This is a Cuttlebug by Cricut. This is what everyone had before the invention of the Cricut cutter and the Cameo machines and things like that. What you would do is open it up, and then you would put your paper between these plates, and then if you wanted a 3-inch star, you would take a 3-inch metal star and just crank it through this little machine, and it would cut out your star perfectly. You know, I graduated to an electric cutter, and I thought it was the greatest thing, but I never did get rid of my Cuttlebug, because a lot of times, just like using punches, sometimes if you just need a 2-inch circle, it's just quicker to punch a 2-inch circle or cut out a 3-inch star with your Cuttlebug, something like that, instead of opening up your machine and doing the computer and all that kind of stuff. This really still has a lot of value to it, and I've never ever thought about getting rid of it because I love it so much, and I have a whole case of metal dies. This is one of those art bins that are fabulous for storing things. I don't know if you're like me, but I like to see what I have, just like makeup and things. If it's all shoved in a drawer, I want to see it and I will use it more. So I had this little wooden frame here. Years ago, I used it for Halloween decorating, and I just saved it. And I have a piece of Dollar Tree foam board. I covered it in some contact paper a while back, but I'm just going to leave the contact paper on there because I'm going to cover that up anyway. But I looked on Amazon for some magnetic sheets, and you can buy like 8.5 by 11 magnetic sheets, but I was fortunate enough to live by this Target salvage store called Dirt Cheap. I know they're mainly located in the southern states, but what this was these packages of magnetic locker wallpaper. I'm going to use the back side that's black, not the striped side. This will work out perfect for me to cover this big space, this foam board that I'm going to just put in a frame. So I just really wanted to share with you what I'm using, but you certainly can buy the flat magnetic sheets to use instead. Now, you could probably hot glue or some Gorilla Glue to adhere it. And this stuff is pretty stiff, so I'm going to have to use something pretty hard. I have this 2-sided gummy stuff that I'm going to try to use. If not, I'm going to use my glue gun. So I'm really not going to give you a play-by-play of what I'm doing. I'm just showing you the before and after of what I'm using to make it. The next little 80s beauty I want to share with you is this little toilet paper box. I have a cute little cabinet in my bathroom now, and my daughter asked if I would leave it since it fits so perfect. And so I really wanted something to go in my new bathroom that would store a few extra rolls. And I came across this yesterday at my local Goodwill for $6.99. And I just thought it had so much potential. You can't even buy a piece of wood now for $6.99. But you want to show you how it works. It's got a little dowel rod and a little cross there where you can put like 3 rolls, and then when you need it, you can just lift the little handle and bring it up to the top. But with it being wood, I knew that I could make it new all over again. And I'm not exactly sure the color scheme I'm going in the new bathroom just yet, but I'm going to try to make it neutral enough to where I can put it in either bathroom. So I just love this little wooden box. So I'll share with you what I'm going to do with it. All right, friends, I got my 2 projects done today, and I'm excited to share them with you. The first one is my metal die magnetic frame. I am just thrilled with the way it turned out. I wasn't sure how smooth this stuff was going to be. That silicone tape stuff that I used seemed to do the trick. I will put a link below if I can find what this is. I bought it from this Amazon return bin store, so it was unlabeled. But if you buy like the flat sheets, you could probably just use hot glue or brush on some Gorilla Glue or something like that. It really wasn't bad at all. But just hot glued my board into my frame to keep from having so many seams. My 2 sheets almost fit in the frame, except for I had a 1/2 inch at the top and a 1/2 inch at the bottom. So I took some black cardstock and put under it, and then put a piece of black lace over that. So it kind of looks like I did it on purpose as part of a matting or something, and I think it looks fine. No one would even realize that why the lace is there. But I think I'm really going to use my dies more, being able to see them, and just love the fact that I'll use them as craft room decor. I haven't hung the hanging wire yet because I'm not sure if I'm going to do it landscape or portrait. Just depends on my wall space. So keep that in mind if you are looking for a new organization for your metal dies instead of just having them in a case. All right, the next one is my little tissue box. This really wasn't anything special. I did a couple coats of white paint. I had some of this vintage gray glaze stuff that I put over the top of the white just to knock some of the whiteness off. And then after that dried, I just did some sandpaper around the edges to kind of rough it up a little bit. It's still very neutral to where it'll go with just about any color scheme I have, and I can even make this over again at some point in time if I want to really tie it into the decor. But I used the Dollar Tree poster stickers, just spelt out the word tissue, and I thought that turned out really cute. So just a really functional little box to have in your bathroom to store a few extra rolls. I'm glad to be moving these little projects with me and using them in my new place. So I'll be back next week with a couple projects before I take my little break to get resettled.